Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick and mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I am passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you were meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Inspire and Move podcast. I am your host, Ali Aruda, and I am joined by a very special guest who has a regular appearance on this podcast.
I don't know if I'm a guest as much anymore as like a
co-host.
No, you run with that. You wear the hat on that one. But I would say that it's definitely a little more regular than I thought I would be.
Yeah,
I got a lot of stuff to say.
I love that.
And you're sick of being the only person hearing it.
It's fun. Sometimes I just send Matt a text when my office is on the main floor, his is upstairs, and so sometimes I just send a text like podcast ? So today is one of those days. And actually, I feel like we were having some great conversations earlier today on Dog Walk about, had just finished listening to a really great Chris Harder quickie episode and sort of finished the episode. And that gives us some good chance to chat and kind of digest what we just listened to, even if it's 11 minutes, which I love that. And that kind of inspired today's current podcast, that here we are, and send Matt a text, podcast ? We put some hats on, I put some fresh lip gloss on, and here we are. And we're gonna jam out on that.
Cool with me.
But hey, if you guys have any thoughts on what Matt's title should be on this podcast, if it's not co-host, but it's not special guest, drop a DM. Would love to have some audience feedback.
Be nice about it though.
Yeah, definitely. Kind words only.
That's right. Positive vibes.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay, so today's topic of discussion, of conversation, is all about the power of proximity, or you could also spin it, proximity is power.
Yeah, I like that, right? And I think it's something that obviously has existed for a very long time. It's kind of a play on the words of, getting in the room and surrounding yourself with the right people and whatever that might look like on a bunch of different ways, different reasons. But there's no secret that we have been in close proximity to a lot of needle movers this year. And in a season or two where we've wanted very focused growth, I would say that part of us being able to, I think, sit here and say that the success of that growth, I do feel that there's been still growing, sure, but up to this point, great success with all the plans that we had in motion up to now. And a lot of that success is based on the people that we were in front of, and not necessarily, the people that we thought we were going to see when we put ourselves in those rooms, put ourselves in those positions, right?
For sure. I think we've had a really amazing, impactful year, very transformative year, and really exciting with all of our growth. And guys, I feel like Matt and I've had this conversation on some of these episodes before, as well as myself on solo episodes, that this growth and transformation also comes with a lot of work. Don't just think that it kind of happens, that you choose. Okay.
Or you just put it out there in the universe. I feel like having a big month this month, and that's all there is to that. I think there's a lot more intentionality that has to come out of that, right?
100%. That all of this still requires hard work and grit and patience and value adding. There are so many layers of what is required to get on the other side of this. But today we're really going to focus on the proximity piece and how incredible that is. But we also don't want to, pull the wool over your eyes, that often this does come with an investment. And I think we were excited to talk about this today because we just recently made our first big personal development and business investment for us and our business for 2024. Want to talk about it?
You go for it.
Okay.
I'll chime in though, for sure.
We're super excited.
Yeah,
we
we are
actually
pumped. Really freaking
just
pumped.
invested in Chris and Lori Harder's dinner series. So this is something new that they're doing. They both individually, as well as together as a couple, curate spectacular rooms, period. End of sentence. And we have had the pleasure and joy of being in some of these rooms. I've attended Lori's Girlfriends in Business events. We've attended as a couple, not once, but twice, Chris's roundtable. You've been by extension of Chris. Like that was the connection to the guys trip. Like we've been in some incredible experiences this past year that, again, has come with an investment. And as us Canadians, we get to that extra percentage add-on since we're Canadian in the economy, which is really lucky for all of us. Often we have travel expenses that are on top of that. So again, make no mistake, these opportunities and experiences do come with investments, but holy smokes, what we have gained from it has been really remarkable. And putting yourself in the proximity of these people that you want to be around is really important. And this could actually start with, and this is how we started with a podcast. Now I'm not sitting across the table from Chris Harder having a coffee or a glass of wine.
You mean we start with listening to people's podcasts?
Totally, yes. Yeah. That's like how you can start, I believe, from a proximity standpoint. Who is it that you want to be in proximity of, but where can you start? Peel back those layers and where can you start?
How is it easy to hear the voice of the people that are going to impact the decisions of your life? And if you get the opportunity and are, I hate using the word lucky, but if you are fortunate enough to find yourself in front of them personally, physically, it is all that much more powerful. But if that's not in the cards, at least initially, because of the expense, the time that might be needed for travel, combination of the two, quite frankly, podcast is an amazing way to have them speak to. It seems so timely. I find a lot of the podcasts we listen to are so timely to what it is that we're going through in that moment, in those times, especially this past year. And that kind of a thing, to have it available to you on demand, is also very powerful. It's a great first step, no doubt.
Oh my gosh, it's just free information. So I feel like let's just even chat that through for a second and really talk about that, like layer number one. Podcasts and social media. Let's even start there, between Instagram and TikTok and maybe YouTube as platforms that you can consume content with $0, and as well as podcasts that you can identify people or, a group of people that you admire and you would love to be in their proximity. Start by consuming their content. What are they putting out there? Can you reshare their content? I even started that way. I found these podcasts that I loved, that I've been listening to for however many years. I have found great value in them. So I'm going to either share the episode with a friend or a few friends, or better yet, I will do both and share it on Instagram. And now I've even started tagging the episode, like linking the episode to make it that much easier for my community. Because if I found value in this episode, I want to share it with you guys, and I'm going to simplify your life by just click this link and then you can listen to the episode versus, okay, sorry, what episode was that? It looked like 931 episode number. This is the title with screenshot. So now I figured it out, 2 years later, that I'm going to add a link. But I want to be able to show up and kind of show my value to these people that I'm consuming and that I admire. And so I'm going to share their information, their content on my platform. Anything that you have to add to that about like the social media podcasting?
Audiobooks. It's a real easy hack too, right? Where you can get into somebody, especially if you're talking about strategic type books, biographies, kind of these platforms that are quickly able to get you to figure out how, or to learn how certain successes have existed in the people that you look up to. Mm-hmm. Having them in your ears while you're walking the dog, driving to work, a combination of everything, I think makes a big, big difference.
And I think that's even kind of like a second layer with the audiobooks and then physical books, that now maybe you are spending $0 to $30 on consuming some of this content in terms of what they're putting out, you're either reading or listening to.
Bang for buck, that's probably as impactful as it gets, right? And the free things that are available all around us all the time, short of paying for an Apple Music account. Mm-hmm. You've got everything else available to you pretty much whenever you feel like it, but it takes the effort of knowing that it's what you're looking for and then getting it getting after it. Someone's not going to knock on the door and say, hey, I'm the person that you need to speak to set up the rest of your life. It doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
You do have to take responsibility, take the bull by the horns a little bit,
a little bit of ownership,
and run with it. Yeah, absolutely. You have to look after your own shit because nobody else is going to hand it to you on a silver platter.
And let's just chat about books for a second here, guys, because these people that you love and admire and you want to be around, if they have books, they've worked really stinking hard on these books, coming up with the idea, writing the proposal, finding a publisher or self-publishing and producing their book, marketing their book, getting a podcast tour, book tour, all the things. So for you to then go and spend the $30 on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indigo, whatever, wherever you buy your books, now you're supporting them. You're putting money back in their pocket. They've worked really hard to produce this book. And then perhaps maybe sharing it. Maybe you can link it if you have an Amazon affiliate code. That's a nice way to make a few extra dollars on a monthly basis. But then maybe gifting it with friends. I actually recently talked about this on my Hype Girl Hacks episode of how if I have friends having, good days, maybe not so great days, I love gifting them a Starbucks card. I love the ease of Starbucks that it's, it's everywhere and I can just go on my website no matter where I am and gift a Starbucks card. But I know you can also do that with Amazon with books. So I think that's a really lovely way to kind of pour into some of these people that you admire of gifting this book to your friend that lives, in the next city over or in a different province, state, whatever it may be, that I just wanted to kind of dial in a little bit more about the books, that you can support them and share, pass their message around and support them, because these people, they could be like an Ed Milet. You never know who's watching. He's got people for sure, on his team, but he's also really active on his social, and maybe he's going to see that you are sharing and providing value of what he's produced. Okay. So we've talked about social media. I get really...
You went on a tangent there for a minute. I was listening, but I felt a little bit lost at sea there for a second.
I think that's what I'm known for here. All right. So we're talking about the power of proximity. We've gone through sort of layer 1, that free content, but how you can show the value. Layer 2, books, audiobooks. Take us through layer 3.
So why is proximity important? How about that? How about we just get right down to it, cut through everything else. Why is it important to be around the people that you ultimately put yourself in front of? And we can say something as cute as it being a powerful tool, and proximity as power is great alliteration there. And it's all true. It's not a bunch of BS. It is true. But Chris Harder actually put it perfectly, and it rings true every time somebody says the word proximity around me, is that it's a shortcut. Bottom line is that proximity is a shortcut to where it is you want to go. So for most of us, we're not born into wealth. Most of us aren't married into wealth, and most of us haven't yet created a ton of wealth on our own up to this point. So without having those advantages effectively right off the bat, you have to find ways beyond just hard work in order to get there. Everybody, I can say that, many people work hard. There's plenty of stories of people that work 2, 3, 4 jobs, 12, 15 hours a day. Hard work isn't necessarily the problem. The difference between the hard work and actually getting ahead is utilizing the strong shoulders of the people that have been there before you, the people that can show you literally what your next step should be. It's like writing a test, and before you get to that question, the answer is already provided for you from the person who's standing beside you. It makes things faster for you to get to where you need to go successfully as well. So here's an example. We are at a roundtable earlier this year, and with Chris, and it's out in Arizona. 12 incredible human beings in this space. We didn't know any of them until we got there. And then we have become fast friends with well more than 50% of that room. In that breath, I met somebody who over the course of the last year has been a friend of mine, has become a friend of mine. And now he has this remarkable opportunity that I would never have had the opportunity here, especially in Canada, to be involved with when this is largely happening on the scale that it is in the States. So because of that proximity, I meet somebody who I jive with right off the bat just because he's a good dude. And then because he feels the same way about me, I am giving an opportunity to run with this. And I'm sorry I'm needing to be so cryptic here, but it hasn't been released as of yet. So we're going to keep it relatively under wraps for now. But with that said, incredible opportunity to do some really amazing things, both sides of the borders, with the opportunity thereafter to then go to Chris's and Lori's dinner series next year and have this in my pocket to then also speak to other people in that room that will allow this opportunity I'm talking about to frickin' explode. And how does that happen? You're in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
The proximity is what gets you there faster. You can cold call all day long for months at a time, and maybe you have a 3% close rate on that because you have no idea who's on the other side, or even if they're going to pick up, for that matter. I don't know the last time I picked up a phone call that I didn't recognize the number on, I'll tell you that.
Oh my God, I'm so bad for that.
Right?
Yeah.
So the proximity of having this great idea, this great product, service, whatever it might be, and being in a room with the people that are curated to want to do big, important, special things themselves, that's like a combination of explosions waiting to happen for all the right reasons. So that proximity, I'd like to believe, puts us in a position, puts anybody in a position where I have what you need, you want what I have, cut through the BS, we're right in front of each other, everybody gets along, it's a happy marriage, and everybody's successful because of it.
Well, one thing I was going to say when, even just what you're talking about going into the dinner series, that we're, approaching this from a proximity and the power of that proximity, but then how that directly connects to building your network.
Yeah.
And we can all appreciate, or I hope, please take this as a lesson that your network is really, really important. And I feel like some people hear that and they're like, oh, no, like I'm not into networking. I don't need a network. Everybody needs a network. I was getting a blow dry the other day, and I was talking with my girlfriend who owns a salon, and she was saying how like she needs a lawyer. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't really know a lawyer. That is not somebody in my network. I don't need it, but I would be delighted to refer if I had one to a friend in need. And it was a kind of an aha moment. I was like, note to self, you need a lawyer or lawyers, because there's a nice variety of them in your network. But it's something that could be so simple that you need, but also how could you support a friend or someone in your network that needs that? I love referring in a network, whether it's, eyebrows, nails.
You're actually really great at it. Why don't you tell us what it is that was it yesterday, the day before, where you were with Haley?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just like bang, 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 bang. And all of a sudden 3 or 4 different worlds collide. Everybody's looked after accordingly. And to my point, because you're making it happen then and there, all the BS is cut through. And just like that, what everybody is looking for and needing is now been looked after. Period.
Yeah. Okay. This is fun. This is actually kind of like network and proximity collide.
Yeah.
So I had a brow shaping and tint appointment yesterday at my friend Haley's salon in Oakville, Ontario. And
what's the name of that salon?
HB Face.
HB Face. She's amazing.
Oh, she is amazing. And beautiful salon. She's doing big, incredible things. Honestly, guys, she's a girl to watch.
Watch this one. Yeah.
So I'm at HP Face. It's a really quick appointment, but I had said, I'm like, well, if you have time after, let's do lunch. We have a nice lunch together. I go back, I get a coffee and decide, I'm actually just going to work here. This is such a beautiful space. I'll go get us some coffees, bring them back. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. And I'm just going to work in your beautiful space for the afternoon. Enjoy this proximity that I'm in. I love your energy being around you. I want to enjoy the proximity. And I'm getting my emails done, my work done. And because I am in the proximity, I also know that, we want to book a sleepover and a dinner date, but we also want to get her into our sister company, our IV lounge out of Benchmark Fitness. So I just have like a whole bunch of messages going, and I book Haley into my friend Jordy's IV lounge. And Jordy's a bride who's getting married next September, who was looking for a makeup artist. So I was like, oh, well, you used to do makeup. Do you still do makeup? Okay, great. Haley still does makeup. Jordy, I've reserved September 14th for your wedding in Haley's calendar. Her assistant's actually going to send you the info packet so you guys can chat pricing. But let me just, cross some T's and dot some I's. This is what everybody needs. I'm here in the proximity. I'm just so happy to connect and refer and hopefully be, productive for everybody, that we can get a couple check marks off of people's to-do lists. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Everybody's happier because of it. Obviously, I think everybody's schedule could be moved along quicker, more efficiently because of that as well.
Oh, I love efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency is like my love language for sure. That there's not much more that really gets me going than like getting stuff done properly and
Mhm.
quickly. That's amazing. Check the box, move it along, and I'll think about it again for at least a little while. That really does it for me. But yeah, to kind of circle back on everything you just made reference to there, you're there in front of the people that are the decision makers, the ones that know what they're needing and are willing to move on it. And because you're there and because you are who you are, quite frankly, you've got the ability and the willingness to do the connections accordingly. That's not everybody's cup of tea. That's not everybody's forte. That is yours. So you've got this network, you've got the proximity, and you've got the willingness. Perfect, perfect, perfect storm for all of that to come together when you need it to, right? So proximity in a nutshell, yeah, it's power, but why is it power? Because it's your shortcut, because
Mhm.
it gets you to where you need to go faster. But to your exact point, all of that only works if you take advantage of either curating or reaching out to your network.
Absolutely. And I think that's a whole other topic about the value and importance of your network. And you might actually, guys, you might hear that a few times over the course of the next 12 months because we are going to embark in this, as we said, our next investment for our business journey, our personal journey. This is different for us. We've never done anything like a dinner series, but really freaking pumped about it.
We're going to meet a lot of amazing people
Yeah.
from all over the States and in Canada that are very similar mindset. They want to grow, they want to be successful, they want to help others to get to that point as well. Because the reality is, they know that they can't do it by themselves. There's no such thing as a self-made anybody or anything. So
Mhm.
they're going to need the help of other people to lift them the way that they're looking to help lift these other people at the same time, right?
And can I just say, like, there's nothing wrong with needing or actually asking for help. I talked about that in a couple episodes ago where with an opportunity, I asked some of my community, I was like, hey guys, I'm, trying to get this. I need your help with this, being specific. But in those rooms and that building that network, people are genuinely excited to help you and support you and help you with that shortcut.
Absolutely. And you never know who it is that you're going to find in those rooms. That is exactly who you need when you need it. You walking in there might not necessarily shed a light on the person that you need that day or that month or maybe even that year, but you have a conversation. You kind of determine what it is they're good at. They determine what you're good at. And before you know it, at some point, they're going to cross your mind or you will cross theirs when the opportunity becomes available to either side that requires the skill set, the strengths that either one of you possess effectively. And that's kind of what's so bloody exciting about this opportunity that being super cryptic about
Yeah.
from meeting this great guy, Zach Tucker, and have since met his family, Courtney, and their two beautiful little daughters. Anyways, these people are wonderful people, and they've accounted for a great opportunity that there was no way I would have been able to even think of if there wasn't the ability to be in that damn room, which I know is a podcast in and of itself.
Yeah.
But once you're in it, that proximity to the people that have also chosen to be in that room, just the simple fact that they're in that room already parallels a ton of similarities between you two anyways.
And that you share values and that
Exactly.
you're literally all in the boat rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
And I think a little piece of advice there, like if you are kind of getting started planning your 2024, what areas of opportunity do you want to spend your time, make some investments in? Also prepare yourself to go into that opportunity or event, workshop, whatever it may be, and play full out. Connect and talk to the other people in that room because to what Matt's saying with this like really cryptic story that one day you guys will know and it's going to be very exciting. But that didn't come as part of what Chris had designed for the mastermind. That was the people in the room that we were all sitting around the same table and the same types of chairs, but it's making sure you have that connection time with the other people. So just something to think about if you are going into exciting opportunities for 2024, put on your energy hat and like bring your A game and make sure that you carve out some time to really enjoy connecting with everybody else that's in that room, that is in your proximity, build your network because you have no idea what opportunities could be on the other side of that connection.
Yeah, be memorable, right?
Oh,
You want to
yes.
go into these places where you're spending your hard-earned money
Mm-hmm.
and your precious time, and you don't want to leave there and not have anybody even give thought to you were ever in there to begin with, right? You're worth more than that. I think if you're putting your time and your money into being in that room and specifically trying to find the value in other people to help you. You want to make sure that you're shining whatever value you have to give to other people, because they're going to want it back the same way they're willing to give it out. So it has to be fair, right? Two-way street on that end. So I agree with you. Play all out. You don't know whoever's looking, whoever's attracting, and whatever opportunities ultimately come from that, more often than not, are only available when you do play all out, right? You can't be a wallflower and expect to have breakthroughs effectively.
Totally.
It doesn't make sense. You can't have both at the same time. So you got to be a little vulnerable. You got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And I'm one of those guys. I'm a introverted extrovert, right? I do love hanging out with people, and I've got good energy and all of that. But man, I also love quiet time too.
Yeah.
Right. So it takes maybe a little bit of an effort for those of us who aren't fully extroverted all the time, but it is worth it every single time, because it gets you to where you need to go that much faster.
And if you get out of your comfort zone, yes, it's going to be scary, but I feel pretty confident in guaranteeing that you won't regret being outside of that comfort zone and making those connections, gaining new insights and opportunities from that uncomfortable, scary moment.
Yeah, it's about doing new things, right? And about seeing who you can connect with in those places that are new to you. You only grow from that kind of stuff anyways. Kind of reminds me of our retreat that we're putting on.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I do, actually. So, I mean, it's crossed my mind, obviously, from a proximity standpoint. We are so friggin' pumped, man. So pumped. January 29th.
Could you run through a wall?
I could run through a friggin' wall.
So excited.
That's right.
Me too.
January 29th to February 1st, we are in beautiful, the name of the town actually doesn't even make any sense. The town's name is Carefree, Arizona. And that's the idea here. We are putting on a very curated, small group of anybody who wants to come and not just unplug and grow and experience the beauty of Arizona, especially, I don't know about where you're hearing this, but for us in Burlington, Ontario, late January, early February, Arizona sounds pretty freaking ideal.
That's exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, pretty freaking ideal.
Months.
But it's 4 days, 3 nights of beautiful, curated, scheduled events, a lot of downtime to do your own thing, whether it be spa services, hanging by the pool, going on your own hikes. But we've got everything covered. We've got meals, we've got the spa services, we've got the offsite activities, a ton of on-site activities as well. And there's going to be some, what did you call it earlier? A little
growth mindset, personal development work.
There you go. And there'll be a little bit of that. It's not going to be
it's not a mastermind.
Thank you. That's the word I was going to say. It's not a mindset. It's not a mastermind.
I have also been known to be using the terms like soul enriching conversations, just conversations that make you feel warm and fuzzy. And the timing of this trip, end of January, first few days of February, it's at the very beginning of 2024. So why not kick off a new year with the best energy? For anyone that has not been to Arizona, like the energy that exists in the desert is truly magical. And this wellness resort is spectacular. We're talking like Condé Nast, 5 stars. You want to be there. We've been there a few times. I love it. It's a favorite place.
It's amazing.
Really excited to have curated this and share it with some really awesome people.
Yeah. And if you're thinking maybe not, I don't know if it's going to work for my schedule. How about you just put it in your calendar and then you work towards it because it's real.
Love that.
Deal? I can't wait.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being in the proximity of the Inspire and Move podcast. If you feel so inclined to give us a 5-star rating, maybe drop a little review with some high vibe energy and positive words, would love that too. And we will see you again next time.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you love this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took 30 seconds and shared this on social media, send it to a friend, or leave a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I am so grateful to have you part of mine.